We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
All right, John on Facebook. If we could set up our ideal home theater retail store, what would we have in it? If we were going to feature home theater, home automation, the whole house audio, what brands, setups, and demonstrations would we have in our hypothetical ideal retail store? Hypothetical ideal retail store. I think my favorite store I ever went to is the House of Stereo in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. It is a combination hi-fi, high-end hi-fi place and art gallery. It has a lot of art and stuff in there. They have 3 or 4 different rooms, one full theater with a D-box seats and all of that. A couple other listening rooms. They have speakers just kind of everywhere. That's sort of the kind of place I would have. Now, it is, for me, all about the listening rooms and having a number of different spaces to listen to.
Yep.
Now, what I would do differently than most stores do is I would have different rooms that are set up with different acoustical properties. Meaning, I would have your full theater, which is fully treated and everything. I'd have a listening room that was well treated, and I would have at least one or more listening rooms that were of different amounts of treated, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So you have one that's just bare. That's just almost nothing. It sounds, and that one right there, it's like, listen, if your house is all wood and tile and stuff like that, this is what you're going to hear of these speakers.
Yep.
And then another room which is moderately treated, and then a full treated room. So maybe 3 different rooms of that. Seems like a waste, but it's ideal, so I can do whatever I want.
That's right.
The only difference I would have would be I would want there to be a headphone listening station. That's something I don't see much of in places. I would want to be able to test out a whole bunch of different headphones and all of that. As far as home automation and whole house audio, for me, that doesn't interest me as much. So I that would be some parts of it. Especially like in the high-end theater room, you would see elements of that in there. And with Atmos speakers and stuff, you're basically like, that's Atmos speaker, and it's also whole house audio. And
that's right.
Blah, 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 blah. So, there would be some things like that. Now, he didn't ask for brands, right? No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
So,
he
did say brands.
What brands? Yep.
Well, there's a higher end, I don't know if it's high end, retail store here in St. Petersburg, and they're selling SVS stuff.
Yep.
I think it's SVS stuff.
They're retail
in there.
now.
So I definitely have that for sure. I'd be an RBH reseller for sure. I mean, that would be a no-brainer. I would probably pick a number of brands that are popular, that have good market appeal, that also have good margins, because I'm
like
doing this to make a business.
Calf would make sense to me.
Calf would be in there. I would do B&W because they are popular and they do sell.
Sure are, yep.
Regardless of whether or not I like them or not, I would still put them in there. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I would definitely have some sort of planar speaker, electrostatic speakers in there. Maybe like a
Martin Logan.
The Martin Logans, the Jansons, I would definitely ask him if I could have them in my, as a partner. That's what comes to mind right now.
All right.
I mean, I would have a whole bunch of other stuff.
We are very simpatico, because my first idea was, I'm like, I would have 2 dedicated theater spaces, one specifically to show what you can do with inexpensive gear in a good room, and then what you can do with a ton of money in also a good room. Because I would love for customers to be able to have that experience of, hey, you can actually get tremendous results, and a lot of it is the room, right? You don't have to spend a ton of money on the equipment. And then I would want like your stereotypical living room type of setup, because I think a lot of people are going to use that. And then I would want like a great room setup, which should be easy to do in a big retail space, because tons of people, like we're hearing all the time on this podcast, are trying to outfit their great rooms. So those would be my 4 setups. I love the headphone idea. I didn't actually think of that myself, but I will completely agree with that. Headphone listening station, absolutely. For whole house audio and home automation, that I would definitely have Control 4, because I think that demonstrates fantastically well, and it's probably the more affordable one. On the home theater side, I mean, I'm a fan of like what Insteon does, but there's so many stupid standards with home automation that it's really tough to pick one and go. I mean, I would have to go Z-Wave just because they're probably the most ubiquitous. So maybe Z-Wave and Insteon and Control 4. That's probably what I would demonstrate as far as it goes for home automation. And then, yeah, brands. I mean, I agree with the ones Tom recommended. I would love to have Revel. If it were me, I would have Revel. As one of the brands
Focal should be in there too.
I would have Focal. Yeah, me, I would have Revel and Focal. I would try to reach out to the Internet Direct brands that we're always talking about, see if maybe Ascend and Aperion want to get in on this, because I would love to have them. I'd have JL Audio for subwoofers in addition to SVS.
The synthesis system too.
JBL said, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, hey, this is ideal, so sure,
ideal.
Yeah, why not?"
Yeah,
that's our cost no object. But yeah, I think I'll kind of leave it at that. I mean, if I've left out brands.
Phase Tech with their dart system too.
They're kind of passe.
All right. One thing came to me when you were saying that too. I would have an ABX station set up where you bring your own speakers.
Yeah.
An ABX station so that people could come and test the speakers that they want to test.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Against each other, and then we'll see, or components or whatever they want to put into the mix there. I would have an ABX something so that we could do that. And ABX, if you don't know, it's a system where you press one button, and you're hearing it through the A speakers or the A device. You press another button, the B button, you're hearing it through the B one, and then you press the X button and you're hearing it through a random one. Okay. The idea here is if they sound like, especially for testing like amps and stuff like that, where people are like, I can hear a difference. You're like, no, you can't. Like, yes, I can. I could totally pick it out. Well, this allows them to put their money where their mouth is. They press A, they listen. They press B, they listen, and then they hit X and to listen to a random one, and then they have to tell you or write down which one was A, B, if X was A or B. Once they do that, it goes on to the next test, and it's all randomly generated. So the computer or whatever the device is, spits out a thing, says the first one was this, the second one was this, the third one was this, the fourth one was that, all the way down. And then you have them do 20 tests, and if they can get 19 right, then they have passed with statistical significance. If not, then they are full.
And there would be absolutely no sign of that certain monstrous brand in my store. No sign of them at all.
That is true. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.